Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Similarly Different. I'm your host, Yanina Oyarzo. Today is another solo episode, and first off, I want to say that I have heard your guys' comments, your guys' messages of you guys really loving the solo episodes, and you don't understand how much that actually means to me, because being in a solo episode, you're just like, am I going to be able to carry enough the weight? So the fact that I've been able to hear that from you guys, and you guys are able to relate to me, not just me and a guest, means the world. But on today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about something that I've kind of sprinkled in another solo episode, which was self-confidence and the breaking down of Yanina, in quotations. But also in that essence, the self-confidence that I have and how I've been able to navigate, build, and work through it throughout time, throughout different stages of my life and different seasons, and what I do in hopes that if you hear my tips and tricks, it may help you on your journey. So first off, obviously people always say I look put together. I have a blowout. It's something that people always say, and I think it's like honestly my safety net. I don't know if that's a positive or negative thing, but Yanina with a blowout is what would happen if you saw my name in a dictionary, because it's just me. It's my identity, and that's why I want to say in the last 2 years I have been trying to wear my hair naturally curly, just because that's Yanina in its core. And I think that I got used to playing Yanina, the character. So now kind of playing with that, I'm now at the stage where I'm kind of having fun with it. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and I don't know if anybody else can relate to this when it comes to if you have curly hair or if you wear your hair a certain type of way and then you change it. When I wear my hair curly, I can't wear the same things when I have my hair straight. It's the weirdest thing, but I just think it doesn't match. Like Yanina curly is a different person. She's like spicy and like it's just its own accessory, but Yanina blowout is like regular Yanina, and like, I don't know, she gets up and goes, she sleeps in a bonnet so that it lasts for a week and a half. So I don't know if you guys relate to that, but definitely for sure my safety net is blow dried hair, which is why I've been trying to wear my curly hair to have the same confidence that I have when I have blown out hair. Because a lot of the times if I just let my hair air dry, it could be different things with you. It could be doing your nails. It could be having a blowout. It could be having red lipstick, or it could be wearing a hat if you're a guy. For me, mine is a blowout. So I'm like, okay, if I really have self-confidence, I got to have it through and through, no matter what I'm wearing, no matter how I'm looking, and truly feel like it's coming from like deep within. So that's a little thing about me. But it goes into the best way to work on your self-confidence, as cheesy as it sounds, is from the inside out. Because if you start from the inside, you're going to get to be able to identify what are the things that are lacking in the self-confidence and where it stems from, so that you could work around it and then maneuver it to either stop telling yourself limiting beliefs, stop believing lies, remove sayings and ideas that other people have told you that you believed about yourself, and just remove the narratives that have been created over the years through experiences, circumstances, or things of that nature. So for me, therapy. I say it in quite a few episodes. Therapy is so key because it's so hard for you to look at yourself. So sometimes you need somebody else. And while friends are great, family is great. Sometimes family can be a little judgmental and you don't feel comfortable with them. Sometimes the same things with friends. Other times you just don't feel like they understand you in the deepest way. A professional is always going to be able to help associate the root of the problem and help you walk through it rather than get stuck in it. So therapy is the first thing. In that, journaling, being able to write down and tell yourself affirmations, whether it's around your house or write down on your journal. The journal that I have right now, I have like 10 of them that I've gone through, and it's from a company called Plan Cheekly, and she's a self-funded company in California, and hers is so simple that there's an affirmation area in the bottom. Also, if you guys seen another episode in the past, Leanne V also has affirmation journals. And in the bottom, you're able to write a free space of affirmations. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, when you first start doing affirmations, you are tricking yourself. But it's all about rewiring your brain to start believing the new things you're implementing. Because at one point, you didn't think the negative things that you think of yourself now. So the same way goes to shift those negatives back into positives, into new beliefs. Another thing that I can say about that is moving your body. Now, I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, but in the pandemic, we prioritized ourselves so heavily. I started going to parks, I started going for walks, I started working out, and then we came back into the real world and things started speeding up. And it's like all these things that we were doing for ourselves just left. And while I still try to work out 2 to 4 times a week, there's some weeks that I don't work out at all. And just a few weeks ago, I was just having a week. It was one of those weeks where the Monday was the Monday, the Tuesday was the Monday, the Wednesday was the Monday. By Thursday, kid you not, I was having a mental breakdown. And I sat with myself and I said, okay, it has been an intense week in every sector of what I do, but I haven't worked out. I haven't even gone for a walk. I've been getting up and getting right to work. I've been getting up and having to do all these deadlines. I've been getting up and doing all these things. I've been there for people. I've been doing this. I've barely been eating. I've barely been drinking water, and I have not moved my body. That day, I went to ClassPass, and this is not an ad, even though, hey, ClassPass, hit me up. I went to ClassPass, and I signed up to a Pilates class for the next morning. Was I going to be tired tomorrow? Yes. The whole week was so stressful. But when I tell you, I woke up that morning, and I was like, get your freaking clothes on and go. I went. I had it 30 minutes prior on my calendar so that even if I was late, I was early. That's my little trick. And I went there, and then I stayed in my car until the class. I was dreading to go into this class. When I tell you energy, emotional, physically, I was tired. But then I took the class, and even though I probably did like 70% of it, 60% of it, because I felt really weak. If you've ever done Legree Pilates, you take a week off, you feel like the weakest person ever. When I finished, I just felt better. And I was like, oh my goodness, I just needed this. Then I went home and I took a shower and I rested the rest of the day and I journaled, and I realized that while I did need rest for the rest of that day, being able to move my body released so much hormones and chemicals that I really needed, that yes, I'm tired and I deserved to rest afterwards. But the first part of me being able to push myself and trick my psyche, the chemicals, all that stuff helped so much that a lot of the times we don't even put into account or try, because our brain is so clustered with the tiredness and the things that we're just beating ourselves up about, you know? And it goes back to give yourself grace as well. But so that's that. On the other end, when it comes to self-confidence, I think it's really important to be honest with yourself of when these things start coming up in you. It could have been from growing up in your family. It could have been from generations of, you weren't allowed to speak about your emotions, or you were supposed to be perfect, or you were supposed to be thin, or maybe you were in a sport or in dance or in modeling since little, or a kid actor, and you had all this pressure to look a certain way. And it's starting to break down those things, because at the end of the day, as we get older, we have to take accountability for what we carry. You are not responsible for what you went through, but you are responsible for continuing to carry it. And every time I think of this, I have a visual image. There's this GIF of a little kid with, I think it's like a broomstick and then like the little bag sack, and they're like walking. And if you look at yourself, how heavy is that? Why do you want to keep carrying it? Is it uncomfortable to look through it and be like, what is here? Yes, but afterwards you're going to feel so much lighter. And I think that has a lot to do with our self-confidence and overall healing. And that's why I say it starts from the inside out. So really looking in and being like, I have these ideas of me. Is it because maybe I had an aunt or a mom that was really strict on me and had me feel that I had to be this way? Was it because of a dance teacher? Was it because a cheerleading captain made me feel this way in 6th grade? Where did it really stem from? And start disassociating from it, removing from it, and telling your younger self, like, it's okay. I'm going to take care of you. This is not who you are, but also truly believing in it. And like I said, in the beginning, it feels so silly, but you have to do it to be able to believe it, because you believed that at one point. So you got to rework it. Now, that's one part. This one, some people may not like, but it's a part of the journey, your surroundings. When you are building your self-confidence, you have to be honest about what you're surrounded about. That is work, personal, love life, and even friends. The reality is we're forever evolving, and not everyone can go into the next stage in our lives. And some people are even blockages in our current state that are holding us back from being able to see ourselves in our greater self. Maybe you have a friend that you see as such like a bright light, but because you see as such a bright light, you don't see that they are not down for you to have as bright of a light when you're next to them. They love you and they care for you as long as you stand behind. that's not a real friend. And I think I've had friends like that in the past where I've believed in them so much. I've pushed them to be their best self. And then I've noticed certain things where I'm like, why are they not as happy for me? Why are they kind of excited to talk about the negative in my life and they want to know more? And like at some point, the gossiping's got to stop. We're getting older. That shouldn't be the top conversations that we're having about. If somebody is calling you to constantly gossip is negative, right? Or you're usually talking bad about someone, or you're talking bad about the things that are happening in your life. You're judging either yourself or others. Why? There should be bigger and better conversations in those groups that you're in. They say that if you're the smartest one in the group, then you're in the wrong group or in the wrong room. In that same token, if you're the one always divulging the things that are going on in your life, if you're the ones always talking to your friends about this and that, and they're not saying, hey, be better, hey, let's work on this, let's better that, and pushing you to be great, those aren't the right friends. I understand not being with friends that are being extremely critical on you, but your friends should not be your enablers. Your friends should be your support system that pushes you higher without the fear that you're going to get in front of them. And I think you have to really look within and say, what kind of people do I have around me? And I've had to do that several times in my life because there are seasons and times for friendships, but there's other times where I've started getting certain opportunities and the lack of support that I've gotten or the lack of excitement that I've gotten from people around me where it was not the same when they were doing something has spoken such loud statements without one word coming out that I had to be honest with myself and be like, it hurts, but understood, noted. And you move along, you know? So knowing that, also family, and this might not be received well, but the reality is sometimes the closest members to us being our family are really toxic, and knowing when to create those boundaries, because if they're continuously bringing you down, if they're continuously pointing at your flaws, if they're continuously criticizing your every move, your hair isn't this way, you don't have red lipstick on when you come to every family function, why aren't you wearing the top of this, why isn't your body fit, why are you losing weight, like in Latino culture, oh, you gotten fat. At some point it's like, stop. It's different if they're like, hey, you know, how's your health doing? And we know what the difference of that is. Also, are you hanging around a lot of alcohol or drugs? So really taking an intervention to yourself and being like, what do I have around me? The same thing goes in a workplace. Is it a toxic work environment? Do you lack self-confidence because you're constantly being attacked at work or being brought down or being felt like you are not enough when you're overextending yourself? There's a difference if you're being lazy, of course, but if you're meeting your requirements above and exceeding and you're still never hitting the approval of these people, then maybe it's time to move on because they're literally breaking down your self-confidence in this workspace and understanding all of that. So that's really important to, I guess, just like take in, and just like you do in a workspace, you do reviews. If you do a review, you should do a review about if you even want to work there. They're reviewing you if they want you or if they want to give you a promotion. Do you want to work there still? Is it elevating you not only financially and in the career and in the space you want to go, but is it elevating you as a human, as a creative, as a person that feels good to work for this company and be in this space and be in this group and this team? I think that's really important. So that's another thing. Now, comparison is a thief of joy, and we've all heard this statement, but I don't think we truly take it into account because a lot of the times when it comes to self-confidence, we have social media and we have movies. Back then we had magazines, right? And that's what we were looking at, and tabloids and all this stuff. Now with social media, you open up TikTok, you open up Instagram. It's not even to the point that you're comparing yourself to Kylie Jenner. I'm saying you're comparing yourself to a girl in London that you don't even know that's posting an OnlyFans link, or it's posting a Fashion Nova haul that you're like, why is she perfect? And maybe I'm saying it because I've done it myself, but that doesn't mean you should. It's relatable, we've done it, but it's how are you catching yourself, and are you catching yourself to the point before you start spiraling, before you start looking at these videos and scrolling and you're like, well, why do I have hip dips and they don't? Why is my skin this color and not that? Why is their life seem so seamless? Why are you breaking yourself down and comparing yourself to a person that you don't even know truly exists in front of you? And I think that's so easy to do. And it's easier said than done, right? I'm telling you this and you're listening to it in the car and you're like, well, yeah, I know I'm not supposed to do it, but I find myself still doing it. So stop. Like, you would not talk to your friend the way you talk to yourself, yet you do it so easily. Why? It's bringing back the self-confidence come from self-love. So you are lacking self-love within yourself. And until you start loving yourself rather than giving the love so easily to everyone, it's not going to change. You can be the most loving person in the world. If you don't love yourself, how does it feel to be in a room giving love and then have to go home and feel empty? It's like you're in an apartment with no furniture. You just hear your echoes. And I think that at some point, excuse my language, we have to get tired of our bullshit. And it's as plain and simple as that, because we all have things that we go through. We all have things that we're battling. The problem goes back to it is not your fault for what you went through. It is your responsibility to unpack it, so that you can live a calmer life, you can live a more peaceful life, you can start loving yourself, which in return will start giving you self-confidence. Now, you're in the process and you're like, okay, well, I don't have self-confidence right now. So what can I do to start lying to myself, to start feeling self-confidence, to start doing it? The affirmations. Sign up to therapy. There's so many things right now. I believe there's one called Talkspace. There's betterhelp.com. There's so many insurances that now do it. There's different platforms. If you're in college, if you're in school, that are able to do it. You can even fill out paperwork to get it covered so that you don't have to pay. I think there's different programs that do it for like 3 to 6 months, but there's so many different availability of being able to do that and different links. And I'm going to see if maybe the team in the description of this specific video, we can put on there different therapy and self-help, whether it's links and things of that sort that you can go to and view when this episode comes out. But start with that. Then it goes into self-image. You got to stop breaking yourself down. Now you say, okay, Yanina, well, I don't have the time to be spending X amount of hours at the gym. ClassPass, again, not an ad at all, but ClassPass, 45 to 55 minutes, you're in and out. You can make your own schedule. You can make it work for you. You got 45 minutes to scroll. You got 45 minutes to work out. There's so many different types of avenues that you could do in there. Yoga, boxing, Pilates. Oh, I don't like to do Pilates like those girls. Okay, there's boxing. Oh, you don't like to do that? There's yoga. Oh, you don't like to do that? There's like a circuit training situation. There's literally something for everyone. Oh, okay, well, I don't want to spend money. Okay, well, you're probably spending money on Starbucks. So if you stop spending money on Starbucks a little bit, you can spend $79 a month on ClassPass. And if you sign up for the first 7 days, I promise this is not an ad. They give you like 29 credits for 7 days free. And then you get to try it out. And then, listen, try it. The second thing is something for you to look physically more appealing is a few things when it comes to fashion. Monochrome colors. If you don't know what to wear all one color. All black always makes you look clean. If you're able to buy stuff, the easiest way to look put together is buying a set, a pant and top that go together, that come together, whether it's sweatsuits, whether it's like linen pants with the matching top, from Shein to Pretty Little Thing to Boohoo to Zara to Mango to, I'm trying to think, Abercrombie, PacSun. Everybody has sets now, from sweatsuits to linens to dresses to skirts and tops to pants that have the matching top. It's the easiest way to look like you tried without trying. Now, if you're like, okay, well, I want to use something in my closet. Okay, this is my kind of hack when I'm really lazy, maybe even having a bad day, but I want to look a little put together. A slick bun, add gold or silver accessories, any chunky accessories that you have. If you're a guy, put a sweatsuit and a snapback on, put a little moisturizer on your skin, a little spritz on your face and cologne, and you just look way more put together. I did a TikTok recently where I was actually feeling really crappy that day, and I put on a hoodie, a matching set. It was from New Balance, and I put gold hoops on, a bracelet, rings, and I slicked my hair back. You instantly look like you schedule your life, like you're not having a breakdown. And once you do that, you feel 20-30% better of yourself because you don't look like the mess that you're currently feeling inside that you're trying to process through. So those are a little bit of tips that I have. I know a lot of people are always like, you always look put together, whatever. If you're able to get a blowout, which it is spending money, and this is the next category. If you're able to spend a little bit of money, I would say blowouts are great. How do I extend my blowout, Yanina? My blowout feels flat. My blowout looks crappy after a while. Here are the tips and tricks that I use to be able to last a blowout. Use hair clips rather than hair ties. Once you do your blowout, make sure you have silk pillowcases or a silk bonnet and sleep with it. Yes, you're going to look like your auntie. It's fine. Your blowout's going to last. It's okay. And if you sleep with a man next to you, he'll be fine. He can call you Bonnet Bae, okay? Third thing is if you have the ability to, a lash lift. I do not recommend lash extensions. They will rip out your lashes, ruin your lashes. Lash lifts are a little pricey. They're around $150. They are pricey. $150 you can do a lot of things with, but $150, it lasts you anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. It lifts your lashes. It instantly makes you look more awake. I love them. I swear by them. Lash lifts with a tint, lashes with a tint, and then a spray tan. Because if you guys don't know, Isabella Elisa is the founder of Dolce Glow. I have loved them. I have used them. I was a tan girl in Miami growing up, olive skin, but there is nothing that a tan cannot do. A tan makes you look toned. It makes you look defined. It gives you a boost of confidence. It makes you look more alive. It balances your skin tone. So if self-tan or at home or a spray tan, it can be anywhere from $20 honestly to $60, or you buy the mousse at home. Do it at home. There's sprays, there's mousse, there's all these things, there's face drops, and you just do it and you just feel more alive. Listen, if you don't got the time to go to 1 week in Jamaica, do it overnight, and at least you know that you'll have some color in you and you look good. It just gives you a boost of confidence that you need. Sometimes we need to apply the things that we know we've let go of. Maybe you're a new mom and you're like, I feel like crap. I don't feel like myself. Well, start implementing, put it in your calendar like if it's an appointment, things that you want to implement, and little by little, you'll be able to. Because I always say when you start a new job or you start a new class, you always stress out, right? But then within a few weeks, you figure out how to incorporate it into your schedule. And then next thing you know, within a few months, it's seamless. The same thing goes to implement things for yourself so that you can feel better, whether that's journaling, whether that's therapy, whether that's doing a 2 times, 3 times a week workout, whether that's going for a walk daily. Maybe not daily because that's a little bit of a hard thing to push at first, but maybe you go for a walk 2 times a week. Then after a few weeks, maybe you do 3 times a week. Next thing you know, it starts creating a habit. What is that thing? I think it's 28 days it takes to break a habit, but it also takes 28 days to build a habit. So all these little things are going to be habits that you're building to be able to get to your highest self of confidence. And I don't believe that self-confidence is a destination. I do believe that working on your self-confidence as you evolve as a person takes you through different types of journeys that you go through. In different aspects of your life, your self-confidence is going to be asking for different parts of you. So it's just figuring out what you're in need of in that new era that you're walking into and figuring out how to apply it to your best ability so that you can feel like your most authentic and greatest self. And I think that once you do that and you start working with those elements, you start feeling good. And once you start feeling good, you're not going to want to walk away from it. And if you do fall off track, you know how to go back and start implementing things to get yourself back on it. Because the purpose is not for you to be perfect. I am not perfect and I don't want to look perfect. It's more for the fact for you to work on how can I feel my best so that I can perform my best, so that I can be the best version of a friend, a daughter, a mom, a coworker, and a creative to everything around me. And I think that's why it's so important for me to get my blowouts. Once I got financially better, as I started getting older, I started implementing nails. Now, for me, it's like if I don't have my hair done and my nails done, I don't feel like myself. So if I'm feeling already depressed and then I'm pushing away not having a blowout or not having my hair done and not having my nails, I'm literally letting myself sink into a hole. So it's just figuring out those little things that work for you and make yourself better. The other day too, I wasn't feeling good and I opened up my journal. I hadn't journaled in 3.5 weeks and I'm like, girl, what you doing? Get back on track. And I was really tired. And I said, okay, you're really tired, but you can lay in this bed and scroll for 1 more hour. But you're really tired of the idea of journaling. You want to feel better. You need to get these thoughts out. So I started journaling. So those are just some little things that have worked for me. I think that self-confidence is really tricky too in the era that we're in with like entertainment and what's in front of us. But as long as we work on prioritizing ourselves, then it'll get better because the world isn't going to prioritize you. You got to prioritize yourself. Now, I always say when it comes to building confidence, breaking or building habits, you have to be honest with yourself. Only you know how much you can actually take before you break that and feel like you failed, right? So instead of getting in front of it, don't say, I'm going to work out every day for the next 3 weeks. Because day 3, you're most likely going to be sore. 1, your muscles are going to be swollen. And then you're going to be like, I need a rest day Thursday, Friday. And you might start thinking, oh, I failed. Because then by Friday, you're like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. Saturday, now you don't do it. Start small. Start small with, I'm going to do a workout 2 times this week, or even less. 1 time this week, I'm going to work out. How do you feel right after it? You might feel sore tomorrow, but you feel sore because you worked your butt off, Then you may be like, I can do 2 days. Again, we scroll so much, but you have to be kind to yourself to not go and scroll and put yourself in comparison and instead do something for yourself. So I think that's really important. So I hope you followed me through this entire episode. I hope you understood me, got to know me a little bit better, and know that at the end of the day, like I said, self-confidence is not a place you're going to land at. It's a journey that you're going to find every season of your life that you go through. And it's okay if you fall off. Listen, I've had bad days still today. I have bad weeks. I have bad seasons, but it's all about being able every time to catch yourself a little bit quicker to be able to rework that situation. If you have been listening up to here, I'm really thankful and I believe in you, and I'm grateful for you even taking the time to have what I think into account in hopes that it helps you. And if you feel like writing to me or asking me any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm always here. I'm literally just a message away, and just know that I don't have it all together. So just give yourself some grace, but don't talk yourself down, and don't talk to yourself in a way that you wouldn't talk to your friend. So until next time, thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode. Bye.